What's happening, everybody? Hope you're having a good day. Week's almost over, so let's talk about this. Lessons that I learned the hard way as an entrepreneur or business owner, so that you don't have to. Come on, let's face it. We're all going to learn these lessons the hard way at one point or another, but hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and not repeat these lessons. So here's the thing. Marketing. Let's talk about marketing. Doesn't matter whether times are good or bad. Never take your foot off the gas. Never take your foot off the gas. That's all I'm trying to say. Because here's the thing. When it comes to marketing, when times are good, you got to keep that pressure on because the good times don't last. Everything comes to an end eventually, right? And when things are bad, when things aren't going well, the first thing we want to do as business owners is cut back on the marketing budget, which is the worst thing that you could ever do for your business, right? Without marketing, there's no leads. Without leads, there's no sales. When things are bad, it's even more, it's a reason to double down, right? Hit it that much harder. Double down on yourself. Double down on your business. Double down on your staff. Double down on the marketing. Make it happen, right? And then when things are good, okay, maybe take your foot off the gas a little bit so you guys can keep up, or put in more infrastructure, put in more staff, expand your team, do what you need to do to keep growing and build out your client base, right? It doesn't matter if you're a service-based business, if you're a retailer, wholesaler, it's all the same. It applies universally across the board, right? Next, now this one comes into play because of my almost 9 years in finance, right? When I first started in finance, I was on the financial advisor side of things. Now, financial advisors are pretty well known for not liking debt, right? There's kind of the two camps of finance. There's the financial advisors where they're all like save, invest, blah, 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 blah. And then you got your loan guys, your debt guys, right? And those two worlds don't necessarily get along. No matter what industry you're in, I'm going to use this as an example, finance as an example, because that's my experience where I spent most of my life. There's always a certain level of brainwashing in what we do, right? So as a financial advisor, it was don't like debt instruments are bad. Financing is the devil. It's the devil. You stay away from it, right? Don't use credit cards. Don't this, don't that. And I'll tell you what, it's a load of shit, right? It's BS. And they're kind of hypocrites because they'll say borrow to invest and maybe get some tax write-offs and blah, 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 blah. But let me ask you this. As a business owner, if you're borrowing, whether it's equipment financing, SBA loans, lines of credit, doesn't matter, alternative financing. If you're borrowing money to invest in your business, isn't it the same thing? Business loans are tax deductible. You get to write off the interest, right? And who doesn't want an extra tax deduction? So here's the thing. I learned this the hard way when I got out of finance for a little bit, is we are very limited, like our means are very limiting to a point, right? We don't always have the cash on hand to finance our initiatives, to fund our initiatives. We don't always have liquidity to hire new people, to invest in new equipment, to invest in marketing strategies, anything like that, right? So that's where borrowing money comes in. There's a stigma around borrowing money, and it's a bad stigma, but there's nothing bad about it. Sometimes you need help from other people in order to get where you want to be, right? So that's the other lesson that I learned the hard way. Financing is not evil. Borrowing money is not evil. It's actually a good thing. Maybe you do have the cash on hand. Maybe you do have the liquidity for a $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 piece of equipment. Does that mean you should go out and buy it outright? Not necessarily. What if you need that cash for a project, right? What if you get a $1 million project, you need 10% down. Now you just spent that money on equipment and you're scrambling, right? There's any number of things that come into play. So those are two very valuable lessons that I learned the hard way that I don't want to see you guys learn the hard way, but I get it, human nature. You might learn that one the hard way. If you need anything, reach out to me, send me a DM. I'm not that hard to find. I look forward to helping you guys where I can, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Cheers.